D20 Future Show. I am, as always, your host and your GM, Richard. Welcome indeed to the January episode of the D20 Future Show, at last. Several months late as it may be, this month we have a bunch of interviews from a bunch of wonderful TTRPG creators I met at Dragonmeet 2024. Please do track down the Blue Sky and Mastodon threads where I will post all of the links to the various places you can find these creators and find the things they create. You can, as always, find the D20 Future Show at D20 Future Show on all the social media places. Well, not all the social media places anymore. Not that one anymore. You know why. As you can tell, the editing schedule is not working out for me again, so consider this a bit of a channel update. We have two special one-offs in the can, our traditional Dragonmeet game of Jason Statham's Big Vacation, featuring stars from the Dragonmeet podcast zone, and an interview with James Wallace about the UK and Irish tabletop industry body he's setting up, Tabletop. I will edit and release those specials as and when over the next few months, but after that we'll be taking an extended break so that I can get the second half of our superhero adventure campaign edited and ready, so that they can be released on a steady schedule. Do look out on our social media for when that happens, because I will be making plenty of fuss. In the meantime, our bi-weekly live stream of our Expanse RPG campaign can be found on Twitch at D20 Future Show. We've been having a great time in the Elton system, and we would love you to get on board. We do a recap at the start of each stream, so don't feel you won't be able to jump in. VODs will go out on our YouTube channel at some point, though I really can't say when at this time. Listener, you are updated. For now, please enjoy the D20 Future Show's Dragonmeet interviews. Yeah, lovely stuff. I'm here at Dragonmeet 2024, and my first interview of the show is Matt from Loke Battlemaps. How's it going, Matt?
Very good. It's always been a good show for us, and it's continuing that trend.
Good to hear it. And so you have a bewilderingly wide... I would think I say every year you've got a bewilderingly wide range of things. Looks like it's even more this year.
I think we're about 50% new stock compared to 50% old this particular Dragonmeet.
Which is quite a thing.
And there's a lot of our standard products that have been out to retail this year that weren't here last year. And we're also bringing a lot of more, I want to term them gift ideas to the show, just because a show in December full of gamers, perfect place to find those little gift items.
Should we talk through the gift items? We'll start there and go on to the rest of the stuff?
Yeah, I mean, for context, for audio, we're stood next to the gift section, so this makes perfect sense.
It does, yes.
So, pretty much going in order of what we have here, we've got a jigsaw dungeon, which is one of our dungeon map put onto a 1,000-piece jigsaw. It's a reasonable size. It's written on here somewhere. Not obviously, but yeah, it makes a big jigsaw. We've got next year's calendar of many adventures. So this is obviously 12 maps, so one per month. These are 12-inch by 12-inch maps that kind of make the calendar image. You've then got an area to schedule your game, and there's a QR code with an adventure that goes with the map. So kind of all in one bundle for the year. You know, get your friends together. Try and, scheduling is always the hardest part. And then you've got something to run when you've actually got them together. We have gift wrap, two designs currently. We've got a mimic one, and we have dungeon gift wrap. We do a lot of dungeons, so...
Yes, you've got the art for that.
And they're packs of 6 fold-out sheets of gift wrap that you can just use as a battle map, in the case of the dungeon. Or you can wrap up and give your gaming friends an on-theme present in an on-theme wrapper. Some Christmas cards, or just occasion cards.
Sure.
We have some vicious muggery, which are cups, mugs, type things, and these feature things from our Deck of Many Insults, which is another new product from last year. So let's talk about that one next. So they just have some phrases from the Deck of Many Insults, which is 100 cards of fantasy-themed insults. So I think we had the prototype last year.
Yes, I think you did. So you can give the gift of fantasy-themed abuse in the form of a mug and/or an entire deck.
Yeah, I like to think you can kind of lift it up behind the GM screen at pivotal moments and let your players know what's up.
You've got to keep them in their place on occasion.
Yeah, exactly. Talking about the jigsaw, one of the cases we thought for using it earlier was once you finish making it as a dungeon jigsaw, run your party through it, but start taking pieces away every so often.
Okay.
So the dungeon's disintegrating around them in a noticeable way. Jigsaw dungeons. So we've got a whole bunch of products that are off the back of our terrain set Kickstarter. That fulfilled earlier in the year and is now coming out to retail. For that we have a GM screen, which has a sort of a mountainy sort of forest terrain sort of landscape on one side, and the other side, 3 of the panels are encounters, so 100 in total.
Yep.
And they're short, sort of like 1 or 2 sentence encounters to give you something to ad hoc when people are travelling around on their adventures. And the other panels are useful things like travel times, weather generators, NPC name, profession, demeanour sort of stuff. All those handy compact tables that you fit on a GM screen. We've got the terrain set itself. So this is one of our books of Battlemaps sets. So it comes with 2 books in the set. These are 1 foot square pages, so they open to be 1 foot by 2 foot for each book. The 2 books in the set you can then put together to make a 2 foot square. And these ones, they're kind of like a base terrain sort of thing. So they're detailed textures, but there's no real features on most of the pages. So you've got grass, you've got dirt, you've got sand, you've got like water, snow, all those sorts of things. And at the back of each book are 2 pages of our static cling decals. So it's a kind of like a DIY, make your own scene.
Yeah.
And because those decals, they don't use adhesive or anything, so you can stick them into the books, close them up with your scene set, and then set them up to play. And then take them out and then just put them back on the pages they came from. So kind of like a all-in-one set to make your own scenes with. And they complement the other stuff we do.
Sure.
As part of that campaign as well, we did a new set of extra decals, which is ruins. So lots of like broken walls, fallen statues, piles of rubble, broken bridges. Broken things work well indoors or outdoors.
Yep, yeah. Things can be broken in both inside and outside.
Yep. Especially with adventures around, there's going to be a lot of things breaking.
That can happen.
The other thing we did from that campaign is another little book. So this one is Curiosities and Destinations, I want to say, or Destinations and Curiosities. And this is a mix of different like dungeon, townscape stuff, wilderness, just little 6x6 page scenes. They're always really popular as just a little add-on, so like people can move off of a map, either one of map books or like any other map, onto just an extra area. So you can put like a room down, you can put like a pit in the ground, or just a little feature. And plus they're pocket size, so people that travel to pubs for their games and things really like those sort of featured things.
Easy to add to the GM Go bag.
Yep, and new for this year as well is we've got a new giant book and a new big book. The giant book is Wilds, Wrecks and Ruins. And this one is outdoor features of interest, so the wrecks, the ruins, and the approaches to them. So 1 2-page spread in the A3 book will be, say, a set of ruins in a desert. And the next page will be some desert. So one is kind of the approach to the other, or if you don't need, so if you don't need a feature in your biome, then there's a set which doesn't have the feature. It's not the same map. And in theory, they've been drawn as a big set. So if you put them together, you have the approach and the feature together and can use it as a single thing. The big book is the big book of Wrecks and Ruins, and that's essentially lots more points of interest in the same biomes as the giant book. So we've done it so if you have both, then they perfectly complement each other. So, like if you've got like a ruined boat on a beach in the giant book, there'll be like a fishing boat trashed on a different beach. You can fit them together and have like a wider beach with more wrecks in it, for example.
Okay.
And I think that is it for new things.
And that's
it's quite a lot of new things.
It is quite a lot of new things. And I'm sure listeners to the D20 Future Show will already know a lot of these are spiral bound, lay flat, laminated, dry and wet erase books. So you just get the page out, open it up, and you have a battle map ready to go rather than drawing or assembling, which I use all the time when I'm GMing for sure.
The key bonus is they're pretty portable.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of different sizes, so they go from very portable to portable enough.
Yes.
And because it's a book format, there's a high density of maps, like per transportable area, if you will.
Sure.
So like the common one for our giant and big is about 60 pages. So lots and lots of maps. And everything we do is to the same scale. It's all drawn in-house, so it's all complementary sort of textures and styles, and perspective is all the same. So they all work together. If you put one next to each other, you can kind of like go off a page of one book into a page of another. And that works well for going from outdoor scenes into dungeony type things or buildings. And it works well for just expanding dungeons or building interiors.
Okay. And assuming our listeners have not come and seen the stuff but want to get hold of your products, where can they go?
LokeBattlemaps.com will head straight to us.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time, Matt.
You're welcome as always.
I'm still here at Dragonmeet 2024, and I'm here with Russ of Morris's Unofficial Tabletop RPG Talk, the podcast with a name so difficult to remember that you won't let me do an interview until I've learned it.
Exactly.
And here we are.
And you do have to take the test beforehand.
Yes, and I have passed.
The written test.
Oh, the written test. I think I submitted...
In strict exam conditions.
I feel like I submitted that well within the 28-day cooling-off period, but I have not received my confirmation that I can interview you, so...
Oh, well, I've got to go.
I can only assume that the admin people are to blame with that.
Well,
so,
do you know what?
Let's risk it.
I'll let it pass just this one
Okay,
time.
it's very good of you, Russ. Very good of you.
And also you've got it tattooed on your body as well, which helps.
Yeah, well, yes, I did do that, and I am still waiting for the royalty check for the advertising, but I presume that's stuck with your finance department.
That's in the mail.
It's in the mail. Okay. How is EN World's Dragonmeet going?
It's fun. I mean, it's because we're standing here right on the stand here. It's been pretty busy.
Yeah, so busy I nearly sold some products for you just now.
Do I have to give you commission?
If I had sold it, yes, I would expect a sort of 5,000% commission, something like that.
That seems perfectly reasonable.
Well, it's good to know. I feel an idiot for handing over to Jess now.
Yeah, but it's going well. This Dragonmeet, we always find it's kind of a lot more RPG focused.
Yes.
And obviously we're an RPG company.
Indeed.
For now. So the density, that's the wrong word. I'm not saying they're dense. I'm saying there are a large of them in a small area. A large number.
Interest density.
Yeah. So basically we do better on any given day at Dragonmeet, the one day at Dragonmeet, than we do on any day at something like UK Games Expo.
Yeah.
Just because it's just more concentrated and more focused. And it's friendlier as well, I find.
It's famously London's friendliest RPG convention.
Yeah.
I don't actually know any others, so there may be no competition. I don't know. That's a bit like the D20 Future Show is the world's premier D20 Future podcast.
Yeah.
In that I haven't found any others, so we must
it's technically true.
It is.
Also, technically, it's the world's worst one, though.
That doesn't
By
sound
that
right.
definition.
No, that doesn't sound right at all. No. Now, there feels some reason why that shouldn't be the case.
That's not the tagline.
Why do
you're
I
going
ever
with.
interview you, Russ? You're
know.
always horrible to me.
I'm not horrible to you. I'm a lovely, lovely person.
And yet, here we are. So, tell us about what you have on the stall today.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have got our starter boxes. So
Yeah.
I think when you last interviewed me, that was UK Games Expo, I think.
It was UK Games Expo
We had that
2024.
one, which is the What Sold Is New starter box.
Yep. That
Brand
one
new
does
there.
not work on an audio podcast, Russ.
No.
Just
I'm
a
pointing.
quick podcasting
I'm pointing,
tip.
yeah.
Yeah. For the listener, Russ pointed at the What's Old Is New starter box.
Yes. Yeah. And, I point again at the Level Up starter box,
Yes.
which wasn't available then, but
is now.
available now. So this is the first time this has been basically aired to the world, I guess.
All right. And is it selling well?
Yeah, it's doing good. It's doing good. We basically got the whole thing just like set up here, so anyone can come and browse through, have a look what's in there. But yeah, we found that it's a really, really good way to get people to try out Level Up without having that big buy-in of 3 big hardcover books, which is it's a big ask.
It's a big commitment to buy, particularly if the sell is D&D but better to people who already own D&D.
Especially as an impulse buy at a convention.
Yes, it's a big impulse buy.
We've always found that's a hard one, but these box sets, are much, much easier.
Sure.
Yeah. Much more attractive to someone just kind of wandering around and think, all right, I'll give that a try. So yeah, there's that. So we got the whole Level Up line here.
Yeah,
and
including the sort of core books and a couple of campaigns.
Yeah. Obviously, we've got the Monstrous Menagerie here. We've got Monstrous Menagerie 2 on Kickstarter right now. It's doing very, very well.
Assuming by the time I put this episode out, it'll have been fulfilled,
Most probably,
completed, and
yeah.
you've probably started your next Kickstarter.
Oh, well, I've started our next Kickstarter in January, I think.
Right, and what's that?
That will be Gate Pass Gazette Annual 2024.
Right.
So Gate Pass Gazette is the magazine we do for Level Up. Mm-hmm. So every month there's sort of like a bunch of new content for Level Up.
Yeah.
Like archetypes and monsters and spells, and,
Sure.
that sort of stuff. And then every year we do a hardcover compilation of the year's books, an annual. Yeah, so that's what that will be in January, which we are doing on BackerKit, our first try on BackerKit.
All right, dipping your toe into non-Kickstarter-y.
Yeah, we thought we'd give it a try, see how it goes. What's the worst that can happen, you know?
I feel like I shouldn't answer that question.
Yes, it's going well. It's going well. Busy. That's how we like it.
Excellent. What's the next big thing? So the Game Pass Gazette obviously is a bit reductive to say you're just printing out the things that you've already designed, but probably not the new kind of big frontier.
Harsh. So
I'm not saying that. I'm saying it would be reductive to say that.
Oh, fair enough.
Trying to get invited back at some point to talk to you ever again.
No, you are always welcome.
But Monstrous Menagerie 2 is in Kickstarter. Listener, by the time knowing my editing schedule, probably long gone and forgotten in the midst of time. But what's the next big thing?
So we have got a book. We haven't got a title for it yet, but it's going to be mid next year on Kickstarter. For Level Up, a big hardcover book, headed up by Paul Hughes, who does the Monstrous Menageries.
Yes.
And this is a book of like pets and companions and rules and player options related to them. And we don't know what we're going to call it yet. Jess's suggestion was, if not friend, then why friend-shaped?
Great title.
Which, you know, we considered, but
it's a strong title.
So basically what it'll be is we introduce in Monstrous Menagerie 2 the concept of heroic monsters, which are monsters that can level up with you. So if you've got your pet mule or your favourite pet ferret, your first level character has a pet ferret, when you're 10th level, your pet ferret's not desperately survivable.
Yeah, I ran a campaign where the players at level 1 bought a chicken. Cesario the chicken did in fact survive all the way to the end.
Well, now the chicken can level up and keep up with the players.
Yes.
Which is kind of cool.
That is pretty cool.
So you can use that. So we introduced that in Monstrous Menagerie 2, the concept of that, and you can also use that for opponents as well. So if you meet this goblin that manages to escape, and then you meet him again a few adventures later, and he's a bit tougher. Right?
Okay.
So the monsters can level up along with the party. So then we're taking that idea and making a whole book out of it.
Okay.
So any character can basically have pets, which or companions or foes, which remain relevant their entire career.
Sure.
And also there's lots of player options like feats and archetypes and things like that to go along with that as well as like tons and tons and tons of companions and pets. It's going to be amazing. I'm really excited for it.
Okay. And officially definitely called, if not friend, why friend shaped, yes?
Oh, you know, I kind of want to. I kind of know I can't, but I kind of want to call it that.
If it's not the big bold text on the back of the book cover, I feel like you are missing a trick.
We'll have to slip those words in this somehow.
Definitely.
Maybe on the Kickstarter page. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
So exciting times continue to occur at EN Publishing.
Indeed. Yep. The other thing we got coming out next year is a bestiary for... Is it bestiary or bestiary? I never know.
I think it's a bestiary.
Bestiary for...
I feel like it's a bestiary.
What is new?
Yeah.
So that'll be a big old monster book for that.
Okay.
Which people have been asking for years. Finally, we're doing it.
Okay.
So that will happen. That's basically the big things we've got going on next year. Then we usually got our usual mini quick starters going on throughout the year.
Sure.
Game Pass Gazette annual, as I mentioned before. And we've got something that we're considering for later in the year, but I can't say what that is quite yet.
You couldn't even give a hint?
I can't give a hint quite yet.
So I'll have to find out later.
Yeah.
Great
That's a year away, so...
Fair enough. That's a little way then. Well, thank you so much for your time as always.
You are welcome.
Always a delight to chat to you.
Yeah.
Enjoy the rest of your con.
Okay, the invoice will be in the mail.
Excellent.
Hi, I'm Christian Bernal. My pronouns are he, him.
Yeah, and your podcast is?
My podcast is the Tumble Through podcast.
Okay.
A brand spanking new Pathfinder 2e podcast.
Okay.
Featuring our first campaign called Twilight's Edge.
So you're kind of launching it at the podcast zone, or has it launched yet?
It has launched officially. We have 7 episodes as of today.
Right, okay, so it's not that new. You're established now.
Is that what all it takes to be an established podcast?
7 episodes?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? Let's say. Okay, you are the DM? Or?
I am the game master.
Game master,
and
okay.
the editor.
Okay, so you're the main man.
Yeah.
Of the enormously successful podcast.
We had a really great we've had a great run so far.
Fantastic.
I'm like really happy with. I'm new to podcasting.
Okay.
My experience is in actual play streams.
Okay.
So I don't know what the numbers, like good numbers, look like, but
Okay.
I'm happy with what I'm seeing.
Then those are good numbers.
Yeah.
Excellent. So what's the pitch for Twilight's Edge?
It's primarily directed for Pathfinder fans.
Yeah.
because We really delve deep into the lore of the world of Galarian, which is the main setting for Pathfinder. And we don't do a lot of explanation of the rules.
Sure. Yeah.
I try to edit out as much of the rules talk as possible.
That's not the fun bit. Yeah.
Yeah, because we're there for the story.
Sure.
I think one of the main draws is our cast comes from 3 different European countries.
Okay.
Several of us are immigrants as well to Europe. So we have a diverse background of experience to draw upon.
Yeah.
Another cool thing is that most of us are playing edgelords in our party.
Okay.
Which I understand could be a little scary, but we all trust each other and have done a lot of work to get to know each other and to play together at the table. So that we know all that edge is meant to serve a story and to build character.
Okay, and where can our listeners find and become your listeners?
Our main platforms are Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts.
Okay.
You can find them on all other podcasts. And on social media as Tumble Through. Tumblethrough.card.co.
Okay, listeners, do check out
Tumble Through! That's what we have to say.
I'm here with Jeff from Final Boss Fight at Dragonmeet 2024. Jeff, who are you and what is Final Boss Fight?
Who am I? That's the question I ask myself every day. Yes, I am Jeff. I'm with Final Boss Fight. We started as a video game podcasting and streaming. We moved into role-playing game, very heavy Dungeons and Dragons. We've been doing Dungeons and Dragons for the past 7 years, I want to say.
Okay, that's a long time.
Multiple campaigns running. Some of them with the same characters carrying over, some of them with new characters. We do a lot of Dungeons and Dragons. That's every other Sunday on Twitch, every other Friday on Twitch. We do a lot of other role-playing games as well. We dabbled in games like Monster of the Week, Brindlewood Bay, The Expanse. I'm running a couple of YouTube-exclusive Call of Cthulhu campaigns as well. We've got a diverse group of players, so it's not just the same people in everything. There's we've got different groups of players in different things. So you'll see some faces overlapping in some games, but for the most part, we do have different cast for each game. They rotate out as well. So we have one shots. We'll have rotating DMs, rotating cast members. It's a good fun. Everybody gets into it. Everybody absolutely loves it. Everybody has a fantastic time.
And what is the current or one of the current D&D campaigns? What are you involved in? Let's find out about what Jeff's doing.
The D&D campaign I'm involved in as a player is Rime of the Frost Maiden.
Okay.
We are now in our I'll just say well into our second year of that.
Right, okay, I
don't think we're anywhere near the end yet.
All right, so a chunky campaign.
That's a very good group of players and characters who really get into our backstories. Really like to develop the characters. So it's not just about the story of the game as well, although that's important as well. But it's also the story of the characters as well, how they grow, how they develop, what their goals are as well. So I play a goblin in that, a goblin artificer called Snicket, who has only blown the party up once so far.
Well, that seems like a very poor ratio, given you've been playing for years.
I know.
I
keep trying to work on it, but they won't let me.
Well, you can hope.
I know.
Fantastic. And if our listeners want to get involved, what's the best jumping on point for Final Boss Fight? Because it seems like there's a lot going on.
We have a YouTube channel where we do post all our games. I'd say the best thing to do is visit our YouTube channel, youtube.com. You'll be able to find us on Final Boss Fight, or FBF Shorts, I think is the official channel name.
Okay.
Playlists. We've got playlists for all our campaigns, or even find us on Twitch, Final Boss Fight Live on Twitch. Really just jump on at any point. There'll be links. Join our Discord. We have a Discord server, active Discord server. Be able to join on that and talk to people behind Final Boss Fight, talk to some of our other community members there. Yeah, really just come on, and we've been doing lots of videos, so we'll find something for you on there.
Okay. Thanks so much for your time, Jeff.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I'm here at Dragonmeet 2024 still, and this time I have cornered a very friendly-looking lady who makes dice. Who are you and what do you do?
My name is Emma, or my business name is Geckohedron. And I make lots of handmade items, so dice, mugs, bags, earrings, stained glass, lots of it.
If you want something kind of cutesy but TTRPG related, this is the place to be by the looks of things. So you have a range of sizes of D20.
Yep.
including the incredible D20 chonk. Those are massive.
They are 44 millimeters to be exact.
To be exact. Excellent. That's pretty big for a dice, but you know when you roll that, something satisfying is going to happen.
Yeah, people tend to buy them as like the killer blow dice.
Yes. Absolutely. Or when the DM really wants you to know you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Fantastic. We've got coasters. D20 designed coasters. Mm-hmm. They're ceramic. They will presumably survive any hot mug.
Yeah, and then I also have mugs to go with them.
These are lovely kind of a range of styles of designs. Mm-hmm. Whether you want friendly looking cacti or vampire blood written on the side of your mug.
I did have a few that were like arsenic and poison, and people went crazy for those ones. So,
listener, make of that what you will. And we've got stained glass meeples. We've got all of your kind of cottagecore gaming needs taken care of here. Fantastic. Well, given that our listeners are idiots who didn't come to Dragonmeet, but now know they must have your gorgeous dice and accessories, where can they go to find them?
My website is Geckohedron.com. You can also search for Geckohedron on Etsy as well.
There you go. Geckohedron.com. Get on board and find yourself some lovely looking dice. Thank you so much for your time.
That's right. Thank you.
I'm here with Chris from Beyond Cataclysm. Chris, how is it going?
It's going great. We love Dragonmeet. I mean, we could do... If I'm honest, we love Dragonmeet because we sell a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I think there are plus sides to a one-day con,
yes,
and there are downsides to a one-day con. The plus side is you sell quite a lot of stuff. The downside is quite busy.
Yes.
My favourite con's AirCon.
Okay.
Where we do probably our worst sales, but we play a lot of games. And I got into this to play a lot of games. So.
Sure. Yeah. That's the kind of the point when we start is we love games.
Yeah. I think so.
And which games have you been selling lots of so far today?
We have sold a lot of Mothership zines. We don't have many Mothership zines left.
Okay.
We have sold lots of our solo stuff. Mm-hmm. We've sold out of lots of Anna Blackwell stuff again. And we have sold a lot of... What's the name of your game? Wraithlands. We've sold lots of copies of Wraithlands. So we have Lecky, the creator of Wraithlands, on our stall.
Okay.
So that's been really lovely. One of the things we love at Beyond Cataclysm is sometimes people volunteer to just come and help out the day. Mm-hmm. We can profile their stuff and they help out and we help each other and it's nice.
Okay. And a handsome bearded gentleman has just arrived to tell us that multi-award-winning Salvage Union is also available from Beyond Cataclysm.
It is.
Hello,
he'd probably rather that you buy it on his stall because he makes more money that way.
That's probably true. But I think as long as people buy it, he'd be happy.
So me and Alid and Panny played Fiasco last night.
Okay.
It went quite off the rails, even for a fairly zany game like Fiasco.
Sure.
It was very funny, but I think probably not for public consumption.
Okay, right, yes, just one of those ones that's best kept within the circle of trust.
Yeah, I'm not sure there was much trust in the circle either.
The circle of suspicion.
There was a circle of suspicion. My favourite bit was when Panny and Alid started joking about their real-life professional relationship.
Right.
And that was blending with the fictional relationship, and then also none of it was real, and they just kept laughing at it. So I enjoyed that whole process.
I have no idea how to recover from that, but so you've had a successful con. We are, listener, coming towards the end of the day. You've had a successful con so far.
Yeah, I think what I am very happy about this year is last year we accidentally bought a massive baller stand.
Yes, you bought half the trade floor pretty much.
We thought we'd bought 5 metres, but we'd bought 5 tables, which was 10 metres. And we filled them, but it was quite hard to man because we only had 3 or 4 of us, and one person was 10 metres away from another person. But so we've got a bit smaller, and we are happy. And we've got lots of, we've got Dreamers, which is by an independent creative, and we've got loads of cool new stuff. I think what we're learning as the years go on is how to stock some of the really cool indie titles, a few of the bigger ones, like we like Free League stuff, the One Ring RPG sold nicely today, but also making sure we're always finding new creatives who have weird stuff that they want to sell.
That's kind of the Beyond Cataclysm thing, I guess, is new small things given a bigger platform than they can generate on their own.
Yeah, and then it's the big things that also help to make that a reality.
Sure.
So if we just had weird indie zines you've never heard of, then we wouldn't make any money.
Yeah.
But if we just were a big corporate stall that just sold stuff from the big people, then my heart wouldn't be happy. So it's been good. How's your con been?
It's been good. I've been in the podcast zone. I've been hopefully, listener, by the time you hear this, or very soon afterwards, the D&D The Pantomime Part 3, It's Behind You, will be available, in which I played Jason Statham, who played Buttons.
You were showing me your six-pack
Yes,
just before we started.
I had to get in incredible shape to play Jason Statham, and I did that by buying a muscle T-shirt off Amazon, which worked. And so during my topless scene, I looked incredible.
Indeed, yeah. So we are going to be packing up soon. I'd like to just give a shout out to our own stuff a little bit. Can I plug a couple
absolutely.
of things?
Please plug the things that you want to plug, and then, crucially, tell us what might be next for Beyond Cataclysm.
Yeah, so we just had a Kickstarter which is live at the moment. We're still on the post-back thing.
Yep.
If you got in a bit late, you can still back it.
Pledge.
For Mork.org, which resets Morkborg in a boring office environment.
Okay.
So kind of chaotic horror, but the real horror is that you have to go to work. That went really well. We raised about nearly 25k, which was great for us because we've done lots of £2,000 Kickstarters, and I'm grateful for them. But over 6 months, split between 3 creatives, when you've got to print books as well, there's a reality to what those things are like.
Sure.
Our next project's called Skies of Belief. I'm excited about it because our first kind of our own IP. And it's good. We love working in other systems, and that's great fun. But Skies of Belief is going to be a low fantasy, kind of low supernatural world with a real culture, focus on cultures. So you're going to have different human cultures, each with a slight supernatural power and a way that impacts on each of them. And it's going to be exciting. So you can check that out at beyondcataclysm.co.uk/Skies of Belief. But that'll be coming to Kickstarter next year.
All right. Something to look out for. And is there a way to just sign up and get the email when that goes live?
Yes, if you join a mailing list, which you can just jump straight at that link, it's there. At some point, that'll link through to a pre-launch for Kickstarter.
Okay, fantastic. Chris, thank you so much for your time, and enjoy the minutes left of Dragonmeet 2024.
Thank you very much.
It's nearly the end of Dragonmeet 2024, but I have finally managed to corner Jordan from Modified Roll.
Hello. It's been very difficult. We've only been sat next to each other literally all day.
Inches away most of the day, and yet here I finally cornered you. Jordan, how has your con been so far?
Oh, exhausting, but good fun. It's always a good time coming here. Mostly just getting to see the other guys in the podcast, so and all the other creative types, and just nice to catch up.
Yeah, absolutely. And publicising your podcast with fantastic giveaways.
Yeah, we had a lovely big competition. We were doing a Name That Character competition. We were obsessed with all of the art in the new PHB, so we grabbed my favourite, which was the Glamour Bard, and we're just asking people to come up with a name. Competition is now closed. Unfortunately, Richard, you didn't win.
Well, I didn't enter, so
that'd be why you didn't win.
Yeah, I couldn't think of a good name.
More fool you.
I do feel a bit of an idiot now. I'm looking at the gold-plated D&Dice dice that I did not win.
Yeah, we're still waiting on the winner to turn up, so we'll see.
Well, if they don't turn up, maybe you could I'll take care of it for you. That's fine. We can do that.
It's always an option.
So other than manning the stall, publicising the podcast, and getting people to think of good names for a Glamour Bard, you ran a live show?
I did. You're acting shocked, but we both know you were in that live show.
Yes,
sorry, tell I. Jason Statham was in the live show.
Jason Statham was in the live show, yes. And how did that go?
It went fantastic. Like, every year it goes well. This year was no exception. Other than I did lie to you and messed up the intro order, leaving you to point out my error at the very beginning of the show.
That's all right. I sold it as Jason upset with the incompetence of all those around him, so rather than my personal beef.
Well, that was my mistake, which is fine, because me and you had planned a little silly thing with the Jason Statham, and then I immediately messed it up. But other than that, show went off without a hitch. We did have a surprise guest in the cast, which was Chamonix's little one, who was very keen to get involved.
Yep.
Wanted to take over the role of Jason Statham, if I'm any judge.
Yes, wanted my ball cap quite badly, it seemed.
But yeah, no, it was absolutely fantastic. Obviously, you played a fantastic character. Everyone's characters were great, and everyone just had a very good time.
It was a really good time, and that will be available when you have edited it.
Yes, I need to get the audio first, and then editing for the live shows I always keep very simple. I'll just clean up any audio, so it shouldn't take very long. I'm hoping that I always try to get out before Christmas. It being a Panto show, you want to be able to listen to it over Christmas.
Listener, keep an eye on both Modified Roll's social media and, of course, the D20 Future Show social media to find out when D&D The Panto Part 3, It's Behind You, will be available on all good, neutral and evil podcast platforms.
That I'm aware of, yes.
If Jordan has heard of it as a podcast, it'll be available there. Yeah, it was a great time. Hopefully it will make a really fun audio show.
I hope so.
And then plans for the rest of the show. You want a quick dash around upstairs?
Yes, it's very unusual for me to get any of the other cast here. This year was no exception. Unfortunately, this always being the same weekend as one of the MCM events, we end up having people going to that, which I can't blame them for. So I get my 1.5 hour of the day to go and look at the stalls, which I'm now in the middle of. So I'm going to go look at some more stalls.
Well, I shan't hold you up anymore. Thanks so much for your time, Jordan.
Thank you very much for having me.
And very quickly, Modified Roll can be found at...
Pretty much everywhere. Website is modifiedroll.com. You can find us on pretty much all the social medias except Twitter, because you know why.
I can't think of a...
We have recently made a Blue Sky, which I'm trying to use. We're mostly active on Instagram now because I've sort of got into a habit of using it. But you can also, like you say, find us podcast-wise, pretty much anywhere you can get a podcast, as well as YouTube. Because turns out you can just put a podcast on YouTube now.
Yeah, no, they just do that for you.
Yeah,
it's great.
Great. But yeah, you find us all those places.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, I'm still at Dragonmeet. It's the closing minutes of Dragonmeet. I'm here with...
Kamara from Witch Hunt.
And so, what do Witch Hunt do? Because I can see, but our listeners cannot.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I'm Kamara, the designer, and kind of ideas behind everything. I call them TTRPG treasures. So, anything to do with Dungeons and Dragons, dice, Pathfinder, anything tabletop related, that's what we do. Specifically, our bestsellers are things like neckties, formal wear, cufflinks, tie bars, and jewellery.
Okay, yes, I'm surrounded by D20 necklaces and earrings
Shiny
over here.
things, yes.
So many shiny things. And they are beautiful. And how long have you been doing this?
I've been doing this since about 2019, I think, is whenever I came out with the Unity dice necklace.
Yep.
I made it for my friend because I couldn't find anything that I called like stealth nerdish, where it was looking good even if you're going to work and things like that. So I did a Kickstarter. It went really well, unexpectedly. It was like, this is my first little design, I'll put it out, and then the whole business kind of came from there. So.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And you also do, I see, ties and socks.
Yes, absolutely. So I started doing this full-time now since March in this year.
Okay, congratulations.
So yes, thank you. It's going really well. We mostly sell off of Etsy at the moment, but we also have our own website. So everything is kind of starting to go up there in terms of like collections.
Yeah.
So now that I can do this full time, I'm moving into kind of having the base range that sells really well because, it's all based on geometric designs that are kind of timeless.
Sure.
Whereas from here, we want to kind of do more themed ranges that have more, like exclusivity or more urgency about them because they're only going to be there for a limited time as opposed to being there evergreen, which has been the case up until this point. So.
Amazing. So our listeners should keep an eye on your website to see what's new and exciting and will be gone.
Very much so. So it's witchhuntstore.com, all one word.
Okay. Or available on Etsy.
Yes, exactly.
But obviously, witchhuntstore.com, you do better out because you don't have to pay Mr. Etsy.
That's true. Although, like Mr. Etsy, he does a lot of marketing for me, or they do. So absolutely, I have no complaints there. But very much so, the website is the place to be.
All right, brilliant. Well, thank you so much for your time and enjoy the dying minutes of your convention.
Yes, thank you. Well, hopefully they go really well. So we'll see.
And that's it. Thank you so much for listening. Do check out these wonderful people on their internet places, and I'll catch you next time, whenever that is, for the next episode of the D20 Future Show.
All of the stuff you were about to do an interview, sorry.
I'm doing an interview. I have bought all the stuff I'm going to buy.
I came over to take the piss out of you, and I've ruined your interview. I'm going to keep doing it.
All right. Thanks, Jordan. I'm gonna try and edit you out, but we'll see whether that's possible. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. You were saying about coasters.